Hi guys, welcome to another video for It's Girl Time. Before I forget, like and subscribe to my channel. I always say that because I am always going to forget. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the art of letting go. And I feel like this is a very important topic that I want to take my time to talk about, because letting go is it's a process, and it's difficult sometimes, it's scary sometimes, and it's sad, right? But it's also a great thing that can happen to us, because when you let go of things that no longer serve you, you open up space to receive things that do. Sometimes I feel like we hold on to things so strongly because we feel like without it, we're not gonna be okay. And it's those things specifically that we're holding on to so badly that are actually the things that are not good for us. And most of the time we know that, but we don't let go of it because we feel like without it we're not going to be able to do things. And the reality of it is that holding on to those things is exactly the thing that's not letting you do what you want to do. I want to share a personal story of something that I did that was, I want to say, one of the biggest things I've ever done to let go of things and of people and of a dependency that I don't need. So for the longest time, if you know me, you know that I love going to the beach. I've always wanted to go by myself, but I always found an excuse not to do it. I was always scared, and I always thought, like, well, what if something gets stolen? What if I get lost? What if I need help and I don't have anyone there? The other side of that story is that in addition of not being scared to go by myself, I had also kind of created a dependency with my ex, that he was the one that always drove whenever I went to the beach, and like going to the beach around the island, like going on road trips and stuff was kind of like our thing. And he was the one that always drove. He was the one that always knew how to like get places, and I was just kind of like along for the ride. And so I kind of created this dependency in my head that I couldn't do it without him, and I couldn't do it without someone in general, because I wasn't going to be able to do it by myself. And so yesterday I was just determined to go by myself. I didn't invite anybody to go with me. I just put on a bathing suit, packed a little bag, and just left. The second that I got to the beach, I immediately started crying, because it was this kind of sense of relief and of feeling proud that I finally had done the thing that for so long I told myself that I couldn't do. It taught me that most of the time we create our own obstacle. We create our own problem. We are the ones that tell ourselves, oh, you can't do that, or like, oh, you're not good enough for that. And yesterday showed me that you really don't. You don't need anything but your own determination to do the things that you want to do. I mean, naturally, if you need help with something, ask for it. I'm not saying like go do everything by yourself and like fuck other people, but I feel like it was so important for me to go through that and to let go of that dependency that I had, of that fear that I had that I couldn't do it by myself. And that is kind of like what also inspired wanting to make this video. This time has really shown me that I can do whatever I propose myself to do without needing like someone around to like push me to do it, you know? The key is really just like within you to do whatever you want and to let go of all those obstacles that you hold on to in order to not do the things that you want to do. Because if you want something bad enough, what is it that's really stopping you from doing it, you know? So next up, I want to talk about forgiving yourself and like forgiveness in general. And let me explain. So when I say forgiving yourself, it's not necessarily because you did anything wrong. It's more so because in that moment, you didn't have the tools to know any better in order for whatever thing that happened to you not happen. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes we put the entirety of the blame of the things that happen to us onto other people, and we don't really put, even if it's just like 5% of the blame, on ourselves for allowing that to happen. So at the end of the day, you know, it's really easy to talk about a toxic partner or whatever and going like, oh, he was so toxic, he was so this, he was so that. But in reality, you were in that situation voluntarily, and it was up to you to understand that that was not for you and to like let it go. And I feel like that is what you need to forgive yourself for. Like in this example, it's about, you know, allowing yourself to make the mistake and forgive yourself for having made a mistake, and not just like blame it on external things all the time. Sometimes you also have to look inside and forgive yourself for allowing certain things to happen, especially if you allowed things to happen knowing that they were not okay. You know, that's what you need to forgive yourself for having made that mistake. And I know that this is like slightly controversial because all we ever want to do is blame things on other people and not on ourselves. But I invite you to look within you and see if there's anything that you should forgive yourself for. Because I feel like once you really start forgiving yourself for the things that you've gone through, for not knowing any better, for allowing things to happen that you know that you shouldn't have allowed, that's really when you start letting go and like healing of those things that are already like in the past. Next up, we have letting go of illusions. And these illusions are like basically the fantasies that you make up in your head that you use as an excuse to not let go of something, or that you use as an excuse to continue allowing things that you don't like. For example, whenever you're scared or whenever you're worried about something, that's really just like an illusion. And you might look at me and like hear this and be like, no, you're wrong, it's very much real. And I can understand, because obviously I've been through the same thing, but the reality of it is that most of the time whenever we're scared or worried over something, it's because we create this illusion of this thing that could go wrong, and we fixate on the fact that it could go wrong in like a million different ways, and we just become scared. We become scared of trying again. We become scared of what may happen, when in reality is no one knows what's gonna happen. Why are you scared of something that it's not even real? You know what I mean? You know how they say like, when you do the exact same thing over and over and over again and expect a different result each time, that different result is never going to get there unless you do things differently. But if you keep doing things the exact same way and you hope for things to get better or to change or whatever, it's not going to happen. You're creating a fantasy in your head that's just never going to become a reality. And so that's why I feel like it's so important to let go of the illusions that we make up in our head and take things as they are. Next up, I want to talk about fear. And I'm going to talk about fear specifically because I feel like fear is really the thing that stops us the most from letting go and from becoming the version of ourselves that we've always wanted to become. For example, I was talking to my therapist the other day and I was telling him that I was like scared to do something again, and he was like, being scared is an illusion. You're creating an illusion in your head for being scared. You know, you don't know what's going to happen in the future, and you're creating like a fear-based program in your head to stop yourself from doing something when you don't know the outcome of that thing you're going to do. What if you stop yourself from doing something great that could have turned out amazing, and just because you were scared, you didn't let yourself go through with it? You know what I mean? What if instead of being scared of trying something new, you turn that like fear into excitement, and you're just like, oh my God, I cannot wait to see what this new experience brings, instead of being like, oh my God, no, like I'm too scared to do it, I'm not gonna do it. It's sometimes so much better to just take the risk, even though risks are scary to take, I'm well aware, but I so much rather take a risk and see what happens, even if it has a negative outcome, than to not do anything at all. And I say negative, like quote unquote, because the reality of it is that even if it's a technically negative outcome, you still learn something from it. And if you're learning something from an experience, then that still makes it a positive experience, because you know how to do it differently and you know to not do that again, right? And really all you have to do is just take that first step. Be willing to get over your fear. Be determined enough to believe that things are going to turn out better than what you ever thought they could. And say like, F it to fear and go for it. I feel like it's important to let go of so many different things in order to grow and become a better version of who you are. Okay, I went ahead and finished my eye makeup off camera. Now, kind of like one of the last things I want to talk about is to allow yourself to let go and allow yourself to believe and like genuinely, truly believe that you're gonna be okay once you let go of this thing. I feel like most of the time, the reason why we don't let go is because we are scared of what's going to happen once we let go. Once you let go of things and of feelings, of people, of whatever it is that you need to let go of, things, they might be sad for a while, true. But in the long run, you're going to be so much better and so much happier without it, because it wasn't something that was beneficial for you. And once you let go of things, you create space for new and better things to come. So without any more information, I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you guys are able to get something out of this video and let go of the things that no longer serve you and let go of the things that scare you, because they're not gonna help you in any way whatsoever. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you stick around and stay tuned for the next one. Bye.